Hi students, this is my video in continuation of your lecture what is going on federalism. I have already discussed two important topics in your previous two videos, so kindly go to your previous videos to understand this one, and please have a look and do read these topics what I'm covering in my videos through your book also, because that is also a very important part to read it from the book to understand it in a better way. Let's see what we are going to see in this one. A very important topic again from the examination point of view, how federalism is practiced in India. So there are three things. First one is the linguistic state, second is the language policy, and third one is the center-state relationship. Let me give you a nutshell of this one, so it can make you a bit clear what we are going to see in this video. So I'm talking about here, how is federalism practiced in India. This one will be looking under your three heading. First one will be your linguistic states. Second one will be looking at language policy. And third one will be looking at center-state relationship. So these are the three things that makes India not a federal, makes India a federal country, or how we are basically practicing federalism, where power is basically divided between your different groups and so on. Let's see. When we talk about your linguistic state, when India attained independence, your states were basically divided on the basis of language. There were other parameters also. The major parameter was language. If we talk about any of the state, if you talk about Punjab, it has its language as Punjabi. If you talk about your Kerala, it has Malayalam as a language, UP as Urdu, and your Hindi as its language. If you talk about Haryana, Haryanvi as its language. You pick up any of these states. If you talk about your Rajasthan, Rajasthani as a language, Gujarat, Gujarati as a language. So major of the concern, or major of the thing, where all the languages were given equal power, or say all the languages were given equal status, or say the power was shared. If the second was this was on the language. Second one, if we talk about, it was on the geographical condition. Talk about Himachal Pradesh can be one example. All the areas of that particular Himachali language and those areas. We talk about Uttarakhand, again on the basis of geography. So they were linguistic states just to give equality and just to accommodate diversity. Just to accommodate diversity in the term of language was taken into consideration. If we talk about your language policy, there is no national language. We have official language. Official language of India is Hindi and English. That basically India works in two of these languages. Then if you talk about state, in state also the state language and your English as a language can be the two languages. Once it was tried around in 1960s and 70s to remove English from our country and make in Hindi as your national language. So there was a lot of opposition from the southern states, and just to share power, or say just to accommodate diversity, so this was removed and again English was introduced. So this was another way of how federalism is practiced in India. Next thing, if we talk about your center-state relationship, and this one you should remember the year 1990. It's before and after. Before 1990, your center used to get dismissed, the state government on any of the following, any of the reason, on any arbitrary manner, or they used to basically put an emergency in that particular state. Now, why this used to happen? Like in case there used to be a government which was not of the same party, which the party used to be there at the center, and the central government used to get this state government removed because they were not of the same party. But the situation has changed after 1990. A situation why it has changed, because after 1990 a form of system what has evolved, the coalition means where no single party is getting majority, and a lot of different parties, whether the state parties, whether the national parties, they merge in together and they form the government at the center. So that's why after 1990 your situation has improved. The relationship between your center and the state before 1990 was not so good, but after 1990 it has become better. So this is what we are going to basically discuss in this video. Let's see how is federalism practiced. If we talk about this one, this is about your linguistic state. This is about your linguistic state. The new states which have been created, the areas and the boundaries which are there, their names have been changed. All these creation have done on the two bases. One is your cultural, ethnicity and geography, and next one on the basis of language, what I have discussed you in my previous just now, like Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, and there are many other which are on the basis of language. If you talk about geography, ethnicity or culture, Nagaland on ethnicity, Uttarakhand on geography, Jharkhand again on maybe culture and ethnicity. Then this was about your linguistic state. When we talk about your language policy, our constitution has not made any language as a national language, as I told you before. Hindi is the official language spoken by 40% of the population. Beside Hindi, there are other 21 languages recognized by the constitution. Let's see, there are few examples. Here one thing you should know, that besides Hindi, means there are 22 scheduled languages. If a question comes in examination, how many languages are there scheduled by the Constitution of India? So that you can answer as 22. If a question comes besides Hindi, there are 21 languages which are recognized by the Constitution. It's also correct. Like they have given few examples: Assamese, Dogri, and so on. Tamil, Bodo, and Telugu. We can go with that one. Next one is English was to cease, means to stop, as an official language from 1965, but there was agitation or say opposition from the many states, especially from Tamil Nadu, from the southern state. So the use of English was allowed to continue, and English is the 22nd language which has been scheduled. Let's see, there are facts about the language policy, or say about languages. There are 0.02% Indians has English as their mother tongue. Then 11% known English as their second or the third language. The census of 1991 recorded 1500 distinct languages claimed by the people as their mother tongue. And after grouping them under some of the major languages, the census found that 114 major languages are there, but they are grouped under these 22 scheduled languages. Examples I have given, like example of Hindi, what all things are coming in as. One is Bhojpuri, then Magdi, Avdi, Braj, Bundelkhandi, Chhattisgarhi, Bhili, Rajasthani. So all these are grouped under Hindi. Next one is even after grouping, who knew Hindi as their second and the third language, the total number of Hindi speaking people were less than 50%. So that's why there is no special status given to any one particular language. So both Hindi and English are the official language, not the national language. National language means Hindi is not the national language. Let's see about center and the state relationship. What I told you before 1990 and after 1990. So I have summed up that way. The way constitution has made center and the state share their power, also strengthen the federalism. Before 1990, the same party ruled the center and most of the state. But after 1990, the regional parties started changing the situation. The regional parties were basically started ruling over the state governments. Next one is this led to the state government not exercising the right autonomous federal union. Means obviously the central government, whatever they say, the state were blindly following things. And next one is the era of after 1990, this coalition, where no single party gets the majority and two or more parties comes in together from the government at the center. So that phase came in. So that's why now there was different parties at center in the state, and because of that, when your central government now they cannot remove your state government. The spirit of federalism is undermined before 1990. Why so? Because central government often dismissed the state government controlled by the rival parties, what we have discussed before. Since no single party got clear majority, that I'm talking about the case of coalition government of the Lok Sabha, the major national parties formed alliance with the several regional parties to form the government. Now, any regional party which is helping the central government, now we can think of, okay, central government is not going to remove the regional parties or say the state parties from their government. So situation has changed. The state government now cannot be dismissed by the central arbitrarily. Arbitrarily means without any cause. Note the result is more power sharing in the federation than before in 1990. So what I have discussed in this video is how is federalism practiced in India. So three things what I have discussed. First one was your linguistic states. Next one is the language policy and the center-state relationship. Thank you so much.